this Google Meet doesn't allow, you know, the recording doesn't come with the Google Meet, so we have to install a separate application for it. Alright, I think it's good. All right. Yeah. So this is the training program that I have thought for this uh, 6 sessions training program. So I think it will go up to 1.5 months. That is what I have estimated. But if required, if you need more sessions, you can definitely go for it. It's not like hard and fast that you need to complete in 1.5 months. The topic is specifically to develop MIS and reporting skills. Okay. Uh, and after going through some of the assessment, I have added few basic topics into it, just to ensure that we all are on the same page and at the same level before we start uh, the MIS topics. Okay. Now, yeah. So we'll start with a course introduction and we'll see some of the basic topics like if functions, self-freezing concepts, pivot table, pivot slicer. Okay, and the entire training is going to be on MS Excel. So we'll learn how to develop dashboards in Excel. Okay, KPI scorecard. Then we'll also see how to develop the resource utilization and productivity tracker, incentive tracker. Okay. Now, so it's MIS and reporting are basically a good, what do you say, a profile, okay, to start your reporting and analytics journey. Let me share the, okay, the roadmap. Okay, so this is the roadmap that I have followed, throughout my journey. I started with basic Excel. Okay, then once I learned the basic Excel, basic reporting, I learned how to do KPI reporting, workforce reporting. Okay. Once you do that, you learn a database concept like MS Excel, SQL. Okay. First step, if you go and then you get into more on the analytics sides. Okay, some new people are trying to join. This is little. Okay. Uh, so this particular journey or roadmap has worked well for me basically to develop the skills. I am currently at a full stack level, I would say. I'm currently part of the NT team, and I will introduce myself in a bit. But this is basically just to give you the roadmap that I have followed, and you can follow if someone aspire to become a data analyst or get into data analytics role. This is what uh, you can follow, and I'm sure I'm going to guide you throughout the journey. Uh, and any questions so far? See, considering the market, I mean, the market has huge demand for reporting and analytics skills. Now, basically, earlier it was just a good to have skills, but now, considering the current market scenario, it's a must-have, skills for the organization because of they also want because usually the company want to remain step ahead from the competitor. They need to do a lot of analysis so that they have a competitive price for their products and all those things. So I feel that this particular skills have developed over a period of time, and now it's really at a peak. And I consider it as a very high paying job. If you reach a particular level where you provide you know a good analytics to the business so that they can make uh, strategic decisions. It's really a valuable role that you are playing for the organization. And full stack data analyst is someone who has a combination of business understanding as well as good technical skills. This particular combination is very rare in the market, I would say. Either you will find data engineers, either you will find managers who has good business understanding. But the combination is really good to have. I have been focused on this particular roadmap that initial. 7 8 years, I was majorly involved on the functional side, and from last I think 4 or 5 years, I am more focused on the technical side. So it has really helped me to gain the skill set which are not very common in that. Okay. Uh, this is about the roadmap. Anyone has any question on this?
So, Krish, one quick check. In current scenario in market today, are macro still as in demand, or we got some new set of tools which will replace macro? Strong
Macro,
from the financial. Yeah.
no, macro will definitely remain, because there is nothing that has replaced macro basically. But yeah, but if in case of what do you say, uh, I mean, level, it's not very high paying. I mean that it's a good to have skill set. Okay, developing
Mm-hmm.
VBA skill is good, but it's not high paying any. Uh, no longer. I mean, it's not very high paying because there are uh, multiple visualization techniques are developed which basically reduce the dependency on the macro.
Okay.
Okay, let's say if you want to pull the data from sources and you develop a code, now there are different tools available which basically does that kind of job in a very efficient way. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, VBA is, but there are a lot of companies who still use VBA extensively. I generally don't like VBA because it really creates a lot of dependency on particular people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even though I was a VBA expert at one point of time and I used to help with it, but eventually I realized that market is also even a good like big organization has shifted focus on building VBA macros because it really creates a dependency. You know, because that skill set is very rare, not and you require a coding mindset and the people with coding mindset, and so that kind of generally big companies avoid using macros nowadays. But yeah, I would say still it is being used uh, in vast in major companies are still using it.
Sure.
So this entire program is going to be a foundation for developing advanced reporting uh, techniques. Okay, see if you directly go and jump to learn Tableau, so it's as a tool, it's very easy. But for the structuring the data, understanding the basic foundation, I feel that it's very much important. Okay, hence this course is basically help you are going to understand the importance of reporting. We will do KPI reporting, we will do workforce reporting. Okay, so it will be reporting, only reporting. Okay. Analytics is something that I'm not going to cover much on this. We will create a dashboard, okay, high level dashboard, but I would still call it as a reporting because we'll do the trend chart and we'll do the top 10 or those kind of scenario we'll see. Analytics is when you basically it's a persona based approach when you understand, when you connect with business, understand their business problem and provide them an analytical solution. Okay, I will give you an example of supply chain. Like supply chain, where you want to understand, so suppose the cost is very high, as a data analyst, business has asked you to identify opportunity to reduce cost. Okay, so this is an opportunity for analytics. You basically uh, review the data. Okay, and with your analyticals and visualization skills, you analyze the data and come up with recommendation to business. Okay, so those is analytics. Those will be that particular skill set will be the uh, somewhere here when you learn data. Okay, data analytics. Okay, uh, so the roadmap will be you see nowadays, considering the data size is very huge, you it's really not advisable to use Excel as a data source. If you try to use Excel as a data source and Excel as a report, at some point you will struggle. So it's really important to learn uh, uh, some database concept like MS Access. MS Access is still very outdated nowadays. SQL, but yeah, to learn SQL, MS Access is important foundation. So hence, this particular program is designed considering people who are new, to this data world. Okay, uh, as well as at some point you will reach at an expert level wherein you gain a good understanding of reporting. Uh, all right. Anyone has any questions? Any more questions? All right. Let me just start with my introduction first. I have it already. All right. So hello everyone. My name is Piyush Shah. I have around 15 years of experience into reporting and analytics. So this is my journey that I've highlighted. Fortunately, it has been a very planned journey. It was never like intentionally planned, but fortunately, it's a very planned journey and focused journey so far. So I started my reporting journey with TCS. In 2008, I was a part of a business planning and analysis team wherein we were providing basic insights to City Finance, a group of City Finance sales team. Yeah. So my role was basically to refresh reports, come up with an automated reports. As I said, I used to be a VBA developer in the past. So a lot of VBA coding we used to do. That was a time when the BI reporting concept was not known too much. The majority of the organizations were dependent on Excel based reporting. You so yeah. So then in TCS, I worked for 2 years. I joined eClerx as associate process manager. I was managing a team in eClerx. So my role was basically to help uh, setting up reports to Dell business marketing team. Okay, so I had a team of around 12 analysts, and my role was to basically understand the reporting requirement and then develop the reports and hand it over to one of my team members so that we can run it on sustainable basis. Again, it was an Excel, mostly on Excel-based reporting. Okay, then gradually when the market started getting evolved and we started getting more on the BI tools like Tableau, so we started switching on to Tableau and provide more advanced reporting solutions. So in General Mills, I joined in 2014. So I joined. I was a part of supply chain team. So my role was basically to set up uh, reporting and analytics, basically to migrate legacy-based reporting into BI tools, basically to transform to enhance the capability, okay, and then uh, basically to connect with the category managers, understand their business problem, and provide them analytical solution. So once uh, initially we start with reports, then we develop our business acumen. We reach a point wherein we can start recommending to business. Okay? So my major focus was to understand the functional side was a major focus, and simultaneously I was also focusing on building my technical skills a bit on Tableau. And so from supply chain, I moved to a sales finance role in 2016, I guess. So I was a part of finance team. My role was basically to set up. I'm not able to. I'm in a lobby. Let me. Hence, I suggest people to join. I don't see anyone in lobby yet. Sorry for that. There's no one is in lobby. No? All right, let's continue the. Yeah. Uh, no, I really forgot. Okay, now. All right. Yeah, Shubham. So So hence I request people to join 5 minutes early to avoid this kind of distraction. I'm really sorry for that.
Sorry, Piyush, I also got a bit late.
Okay. All right. Where was I? Yeah. So I was discussing about my journey. So in finance, basically my role was to transform, provide BI tools to track the trade, retail trade business. We develop a lot of tools, basically which monitors and entire trade business. So we were coming to, I was into analytical solution. So understanding the problems in the business and providing an analytical solution. I moved to DNT, that is IT role, wherein I was a business analyst for a .NET based application called Nexus. So that particular application is used to manage the trade business. Okay, my role was basically to provide, to coordinate with this, with business and developers to uh, design the solution or to resolve issues. Uh, Yeah, in my current role, I am leading a team. I'm working as a delivery lead, okay, uh, and I'm managing a team of basically six data engineers and Wiz experts. So we basically provide in-market intelligence to sales and marketing team of North America, General Mills. So yeah, so this has been the journey so far. I am an expert in Tableau, but currently my focus is more on the leadership. I have been through a lot of, in most of my journey I have been through a lot of an individual contributor role. Now I have started got into a leadership role wherein I will be, I am managing team, I'm helping, managing key conversation with business, understanding the problems and then design solution with the help of the team that I have. Okay. uh, yeah, I'll highlight some of my expertise here. So Excel here is, what do you say, visualization that I've created in Excel, to basically present it in a good way. So presentation is very, my intention to show this is that, Excel is not just for basic reporting. There is a lot more you can do with Excel. You know. And we are going to learn some of this in this 1.5 months journey. Okay. So if you can see, and everything that you see is created just using if conditions and some of the sum if and formulas. Okay, so nothing is like very what do you say, super technical here. Okay, you see when I click on this particular radio button, it is giving me functional skills, it is giving me technical skills. Okay, and I have highlighted my work experience. So this is not updated, but it's something which I created long back. But it's very important. So when I, let's say, interact with someone or when I apply for an interview, I present myself in such a way that that people get impressed. And definitely this is a good way to start. You share. So it's a reporting. I mean, so for example, you are applying for a data visualization role. Okay, it will be really a good practice that you work on your presentation skills, and then come up with some uh, very beautiful resume, visualized resume. That really completes your, the 50% job is done. 50% is basically how you talk, how you present it yourself. Okay. So here you can see, when I click on the button, the colors are changing and all these things. There's a little bit of macro applied here, but majority of this is done using VLOOKUP, if condition, and sum if. Okay. So yeah, again there is a bit of macro here, but we'll definitely see cover some of the topics. Okay. Uh, Let me close this. So this is the roadmap. If someone missed it, I'll be definitely sharing the recording. You can just go through the recording.
Sorry, Pish, I am seeing the resume screen. Is it for me? The screen is freeze or? for all also, because for me it's only one screen just showing, which is your resume screen. Is it for all or is it for me? I just want
So
to.
now can you let me open the Excel. Now can you see the Excel?
Uh, it not it doesn't come up.
One minute, let me. Hmm, entire screen. I am selecting entire screen. I'm not sure. Yeah. Can you see my screen now?
Yeah, your screen is visible.
Yeah. So किधर गया वो visual? See if you, I think you missed the visual resume, so I'll just quickly open it. Someone wants to join as really. It's too late now. I'm not sure. All right. Yeah. So what I was saying is, when you suppose if you are very serious about getting into a data visualization role or data analytics role, and you are exploring opportunity outside, it will be a good practice to come up with your visual resume. Uh, so one that I have developed in Excel. What I want to say is the only technical skill set that I have used is VLOOKUP, SUMIF, and all those things. Not a major hi-fi technical skills that you require to come up with this kind of the visuals here. Okay. Uh, the journey is little. I mean, it's long, but it's not that. What do you say? Hmm, that complex, I would say. You know, learning Excel is not very complex if you give a dedicated practice, and I think going to be it's going to be fun as well as a good learning experience. Okay, all right. And this is something now I use for my whenever I interact with someone. Let's say if I introduce myself to my stakeholder, I use this, and this really gives a good impression. It's really important that you know how to market yourself. Once you develop skills, make sure you use that skills definitely for business, but also for yourself. That is what I follow. Okay, all right. Anyone has any questions so far? We'll just quickly jump into the topics now. Before I start, anyone want to know about the training program or anything? I think my this got disconnected. Yeah. Sorry, can you please repeat? My resume. Yeah, yeah, sure, I can share. I will email. Just ping me on WhatsApp and I will send you. If anyone else wants it, yeah. All right. Any more questions? Okay. All right. So quickly, some people joined little late. So quickly, I'll just share the course contents again. Okay. So the objective of this training program is to basically develop MIS and reporting skills in Excel. Okay. And that will be the starting point of our reporting and analytics journey. So considering people, who are new to this data world, reporting world, I have designed this training program. Okay. Definitely, even if you are not new, if you have a basic, reporting skills, but this will be a value add for sure. So this is the sample dashboard that I have created, and will basically create the similar kind of dashboard in our training program. Okay. Once we are done with our advanced Excel topics, these are very important things to learn. Now, if you want to get into developing dashboards, these are must-have skill sets. Okay, you need to know nested if, VLOOKUP, Edge lookup. So we are going to focus the two sessions. In the two sessions, we will be focusing on developing our advanced Excel skills. Okay, and then four sessions I have kept for getting into the topics. Okay, so we will start with creating a dynamic dashboard. So this is the dashboard that we are going to create. Okay, so if you see, this is very dynamic, and then here we have an category trend. You see that when you click on the button, the colors are changing. We may not use the colors because that would require VB and something that we are not planning to cover, but we'll use a radio button instead here, similar to this. But when you click on radio button, this you see the, and below you see uh, top 10 cities contributing to the major sales. Okay, and you can see scroll bar below. When you scroll, you can see the chart is moving. Okay, so these are really fun stuff that you are going to learn. It is really fun to learn as well as it is a good uh, value in the market. When you do reporting, what see all this information you can show using basic pivot also. Okay? It's not that you cannot show using basic pivot in a tabular form, but when you show it in this way in a beautiful dashboard manner, that really makes a difference. Okay. Uh, so these kind of skills are definitely has a value in market, in current market, but not very high paying, I would say. On an average, you can get up to, let's say, 11, 12 lakh per annum salary when you develop a dashboard skills, reporting skills. You, but then definitely it's a foundation. It's a foundation to get into data analytics. You cannot directly jump into data analytics if you don't know the basics of reporting. It's a ladder that you need to follow, a step-by-step process. That's what I feel. There may be some people who are intelligent enough to directly jump into the analytics side, but the journey that I have followed and the journey that has worked for me is starting from basic, learning reporting, learning MIS, then moving to analytics, and then enhancing your skills up to like SQL, learning the data, the backend side of it, and develop yourself as a full stack uh, data analyst. Okay, so this is something about uh, the dashboard that we are going to cover. Okay, then we will see the next topic that we are going to see is quality report. uh, Quality report. Just open yeah. So I mean, again, we will see how to create a quality report. Basically, there are two methods that we'll see. It is the simple method and weighted average method. Again, it's very important. Like most of the operations business, they want to track the quality of their team member and the operations work. So again, it's an very good skills to learn. Then you can definitely create a dashboard out of it to present your quality dashboard in a easy to understand way. Okay. So once you are done with the quality dashboard, uh, we will also see KPI dashboard. Again, it's a very important topic to learn. You know, majority of the business use KPI scorecard to track their business performance. Okay, it's very important to define strong KPIs which can measure the performance of the overall business. So this is something that we are going to learn in detail. You really need uh, a good hands-on on if conditions, sum if, and we look up those kind of formulas. And hence our foundation will be learning advanced Excel. Once we are done with the advanced Excel, we will jump into this topics. Okay. So once we are done with the KPI reporting, the next thing that we plan to cover is the resource utilization and productivity tracker. So resource utilization and productivity is something very commonly used in service industry, wherein like for example, TCS, uh, they assign their employees multiple clients. Okay, so let's say for example, some people will be working for Wipro, like let's say General Mills, some may be working for Mondelez. So they assign particular people on a project, and in those kind of scenario, it becomes very imperative to track the utilization, to have a discussion with the client, saying that this particular resource are utilized, let's say 50% in this project, 50% in other project, their productivity is 100%, or if you are having a discussion with the stakeholder for an additional work, okay, you can basically you read all those insights that what is the productivity of the resource, whether it is overutilized, underutilized. Again, it's an important thing that is being currently done, and there is a lot of demand outside for these skills. So let me just quickly give you a glimpse of RUN productivity tracker. Okay, so this is something that we are going to learn how to calculate a resource utilization, how to calculate productivity. Okay, um, yeah. So once we are done with this, the last topics that we are going to do is a sales incentive tracker. So this kind of tracker is very commonly used in like operations, target-based operations. Okay, let's say for insurance, they really need to track who is doing what business, and accordingly they assign incentives. It's very commonly used reporting in like insurance, sales, and marketing. This sort of very it's an incentive-based payout. Okay. Uh, so again, a very good topic to learn. Let me just quickly see if I have an example of an incentive. Yeah. So this was created based on the real scenario. So one of the student uh, who I trained, he ended up getting a job in one of the insurance company, and he was asked to create the incentive tracker. So that was a real scenario that I helped it to create. He was a close friend, so he used to visit my place to learn, and he was looking for a job at that time, so he was very dedicated and he learned all these skills and he got a role in MIS. Okay, and then he started getting new opportunities. So one of the opportunities, the project that he was working on was developing an incentive tracker based on the performance. Okay, so let's say for example, if you achieve uh, say target, uh, let's say 1 lakh का business किया and your quality score is say 99%, you get say 5,000 rupees extra. Let's say आपने 2 लाख का achieve किया, you have an आपका quality, you maintain the quality score, okay, you get on top of that, if your entire team has achieved X percentage, you get additional 2,000. So this kind of scenario, and if you try to do it manually, it's going to be very cumbersome, right? So it's really a good skills to have, formulation skills, so that you can create these formulas which will auto calculate based on the different scenarios that we have. So यहाँ पे this is one of the example of the scenarios that we are going to see. Like आपने 49 lakhs का business किया है, the category. So considering all this scenario, we developed a report which auto calculate the incentives. Okay. So that's all about the course that we are going to cover in this 1.5 months. And as I said, this is going to be an interactive session. So please feel free to uh, interrupt, you know, interrupt and ask questions. It's not a one-way communication. Even if you have to ask questions 10 times, I'm okay. The objective is that you need to understand things. Okay? It's very important that you understand, and all the topics that I have highlighted here are super important topics. There are no topics which are easy and you can let go and you can, or are like dependent. Like self-freezing is a small concept, but it's dependent. Like if you do not understand self-freezing, it will be really difficult to, understand uh, other topics. Uh, so, yeah, I am. as I said, my intention here to basically help you people to develop your skills, and there is no other intention. I mean, even if we have to take extra 2 or 3 sessions, I'm okay with it. Until and unless you are fine with it. So time is not an like constraint. It's not a hard and fast rule that we will complete everything in 6 sessions. If we require more, 1 or 2 sessions more, I'm okay with it. Okay. So the approach that we are going to follow is, we will have a session. So from next week onwards, we are going to have a 1.5 hours per session. Today we will do a 1 hour session. In last 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I'll quickly start with the basic topics, but we'll gradually move to the some complex topics in our next sessions. Okay, and the next 2 sessions will be focused on learning advanced Excel skills, and then we'll start into the MIS and the reporting topics. So anyone has any questions? Siddharth, you have any questions? Huh. Right, right. Yeah, yeah. That will be, yeah, that concept can be applied for whatever KPI that you come up with. Okay. So we will be basically focusing on the KPI for what is a retail stores. So the example that I have taken is like DMart, Geo Mart, and all those things. So for them, their KPI is like the business should be greater than 5 lakh. And let me just quickly open the KPI just to recollect what KPI that. So yeah, so invoice processed in 5 days, invoiced value greater than 500 processed in 3 days. So this is just a starting point, and it's just a thought starter. Okay, but yeah, this the formula. Once you learn the formulation, you can apply the same logic for other KPIs as well. Okay, like for call center business, there will be different KPIs. So their KPI will be like mostly quality related. Okay. But I think once you learn this, once you learn what we are going to cover, you will have a fair idea about how basically you will start brainstorming on how to develop KPIs, how to brainstorm about KPIs, and how to develop a scorecard. Okay. So the data and everything that I have created for this is more compatible towards the retail business. So hence we will basically use that for our good question. Yeah. Anyone has any more questions? So I one thing I would recommend is do not be dependent on the recordings. Try to uh, attend all the sessions. Keep this as a first priority. Generally, free doesn't have a value in the market. Anything that is free, generally the mindset is yeah, इसका value नहीं रहता. But uh, that is not the case. You have a very good opportunity to learn from an industry expert. Okay. Outside, if you enroll for a course, you know, majorly it is money minded, and I'm very telling this openly because I really had some bad experience in the past wherein uh, I had a bad experience wherein I ended up spending a lot, then I did not achieve a lot. You know, so yeah, my recommendation will be attend all the sessions. Keep it interactive. If you have any questions, just you can ask. You feel free to interrupt me. I'm okay. I do not have any concerns. Please feel free to interrupt me in between if you do not understand. If someone is not able to understand 3 times, 4 times, I'm okay to explain 10 times also. Okay. Uh, so yeah. Sorry, we are good with the expectation. Anyone has any more questions? No, we are not going to cover VBA macro. See, VBA macro. My uh, thought is like if you want to develop reporting and analytics skill set, VBA is not a must skill set. Okay, and VBA requires certain level of technical mindset. Okay, so I am not planning to cover VBA in this, and I think the last VBA that I have used is around 7 8 years back. You know, now considering the current market, the current maybe say the technology advancement, PVA is outdated. It is still being used to automate certain operation things, but I would suggest not to focus on because it's not very high paying uh, opportunity in market. Okay, does that answer your question? Yes, anyone has any more questions? But you are definite. Yeah. See, I would suggest for this 1.5 months now, focus on what I'm going to teach. Okay? Power query and all those things are really good, but basic foundation should be clear. I mean, if you, I'm not sure with what level you are currently. I know if you think you are good at reporting, KPI reporting and everything, reporting, if you understand reporting well, I'm okay. If you starting with Power Query and all those things, that's a really good. Has a very good demand. Power Query, Power BI, and the backend thing. But yeah, suppose in considering you are because a lot of people I am seeing, they get to see a lot of advertisement. कि आप you enroll for this data science course, ये Python and everything. They end up spending 50,000, 60,000. Uh, but I'm sure they will regret their decision. Most of them. There are some intelligent people, who are really intelligent and who has a very high IQ, definitely much more better than me, who can quickly grasp things. But majority of people, who get lured, who get impressed by this advertisement and not spending a lot of money on the Tableau training without being having much experience in the reporting. Learning Tableau, learning BI tools is easy. Okay, BI tools are very user-friendly tools nowadays. But problem comes when you are working on a real business scenario. The data structuring part and all these parts, you will definitely struggle if you do not have this basic foundations of reporting. That's what my experience is. Yeah. So if you are new to this world, this reporting world, I would recommend this 1.5 months. Just keep everything aside. Okay, I will definitely guide you what next you should learn once you're done with this course. But I would highly recommend focus on these topics. For next 1.5 months that we are going to utilize. Okay. Yeah. Tableau and something is definitely Power BI, Power Query, like Tableau. Then there are a lot of other tools which I can provide guidance. There are a lot of ETL tools available like Alteryx is there, okay, and Talent and all those things. So these are really good tools, okay, but that will be handy if you reach it at a particular level, okay, a data analyst level. At that time will be uh, definitely good. But if so you are someone if you are starting with this role and you aspire to become a data analyst and for a very basic level, I would say just hold on for some time getting into those kind of skills. Yeah. So we just have, I think we'll spend 10 minutes. Any more questions? All right. I think we have 10 minutes now. We'll start with very basic topics today. We don't want to cover more today. But yeah, in next session onwards, we'll get more start into advanced Excel topics. So let's start with a very basic if condition. Okay, if function. Let me close the unwanted files. Yeah. Okay, I'll take a very basic example. See, most of the trainings will be through a very real scenario. Okay, the raw data that I have taken is this data basically it comes with Tableau. When you install Tableau, you get some basic data to play along. Okay, it's an retail store data, it has orders and all those things. So for most of the trainings, we are going to use this data set, it has sales, quantity, discount, and everything. And what I want to say is that we are going to use a real business scenarios for most of the things. That will really helpful in terms of relate uh, with your business that you are supporting. Yeah. Anyone has any question? Okay. Let's move to the topic. So we are going to start with a very basic, that is if condition here. Uh, okay. And this is very simple. I'm very sorry. Okay. All right. I'm taking a very simple example for here. Uh, let's say So we have three students here, Amit, Vijay, and Ajay, and these are the subjects. Okay. Now in general scenario, like if you in our school days, if you remember, if we get 35 marks in each subject, we are considered pass. And the total is 105, then we are considered as pass. Okay. Let's sum of the marks. Now let's drag it. All right. Now I want to understand whether can someone confirm if you are able to hear me properly? All right. All right. Now let's say want to write a formula, write a if condition to check what is the total, and if the total is greater than 105, then we'll consider pass, else fail. Okay. I'll say if the total is greater than 105. Okay. See, when I'm writing if condition, the very first thing it is asking is logical test. Okay. So my logical test is I want to check if the total is greater than 105 or not. Okay. If the total is 105, then what if value is true? Then I should give pass. Okay. Else, else may we do not have to specify explicitly that if the total is less than 105, because we just have one condition here. We can directly keep put that in else. Fail. Okay. Now I just drag this. Okay, let's do a small conditional formatting also. Okay, it's, अगर वो fail है तो we keep it red. Okay. Okay. So this is a very simple if condition that I have written here. Okay, if अगर total is greater than 5, then pass, else fail. Now considering everyone has scored 105, greater than 105, everyone is pass. But what now? What if we have let's say this kind of scenario? Okay. इसमें क्या है, विजय हैज स्कोर्ड 95 मैथ्स, इंग्लिश में ही है स्कोर्ड 32, साइंस में ही है स्कोर्ड 60. Okay, so he has total of 186, but has he really passed? No, right? Because he has not scored passing marks in English, and we all remember, right? Even if we fail in one subject, no matter how good we have done in other subjects, we have still failed. Okay. Now let's see how we can achieve this. So for this, we need to make use of an operator, that is AND operator. Okay. So let me write an if condition. Okay. Now we cannot use total directly. We want to see whether students have achieved greater than 35 in each subject. Okay. So I will use AND. Okay. Max is greater than 35 for my English is greater than 35 and science is greater than 35. ओके, इफ के अंदर मैंने एंड स्टार्ट किया, तो एंड का जो सिंटैक्स है दैट इज इट इज आस्किंग फॉर लॉजिकल स्टेटमेंट्स. ओके, सो द स्टेटमेंट्स आई एम चेकिंग इज greater than 35. Okay, let's close the bracket. When I close the bracket, it has again started if condition. Okay, now this AND statement becomes my logical test. What if it's true? Then I want to give pass. अगर वो true नहीं है तो I want to give it as false. Okay, I will apply the same conditional formatting here. अच्छा, false कर दिया, fail आएगा. Okay. See, this everyone understood this. It's very simple. Like in this scenario, we considered the greater than 5 here to pass and fail. However, as we know, the student has to score more than 35 to consider pass. For that, we need to use an AND operator. Okay, AND operator. So what AND does is basically whatever condition that we put under AND, all condition has to satisfy. Then only it will pass. Even if one condition has failed, it will consider fail. Okay. Alright. Yeah. Questions? Anyone has any question? Yeah, yeah. See, conditional formatting. It's very like an easy topic. I mean, you can definitely explain. There are a lot of options available, but to apply conditional formatting, what you can do is like keep your cursor on a cell, and what we used is equal to. Like say, if I uh, let's say if I give pass here. So what color you want to apply? So what we applied was green filled with dark. And if you want to see your existing conditional formatting that you applied, go to manage rules, and here you can see. Let's say let me do this. इसमें I will apply conditional formatting यहाँ पे. Okay, इसमें we will use a numeric one like greater than uh, 35 है, so we will keep it as let's say green. Okay. और अगर less than 35 है, we will keep it red, so it's auto selected. Okay. So again, a very good thing. I mean, there are a lot of advanced. The XLS really developed this conditional formatting. There are a lot of icon option and all those things are available. We are not getting into the conditional formatting, but I have just given you the starting point. You can definitely explore more onto it. So there are a lot of options available, and we are definitely going to use some of these in our KPI report. Okay, so we will get to know more about conditional formatting when we progress further. Any questions with this? Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. You can definitely have. Let's select quickly. Let's say A or B. No. How equal to if this particular value is equal to let's say A. Then I want to give as let's say number 1, else 2. Now it is giving 1. If I यहाँ पे A अगर मैं इसको चेंज करता हूँ तो it will give 2. ठीक है? So you can give condition. Yeah, it should be in double quotes. Yeah, right. Yeah. So yeah, we have covered. Anyone has any doubt on and condition? So simple if is very easy. I'm sure it's just simple. But yeah, if you want to like the scenario that we had is like uh, for a particular student to pass, he has to score more than 35 in each subject, and only will be considering pass. That can be achieved through and condition. You have to put and within your if condition. Okay. And uh, you can a lot of see, by default, it will be if you put number, it will be a number format. But yeah, there's a lot of formatting options available. Yeah. So let's say if, here you can see there are a lot of formatting options available. If you want to change this number, you can do that. I didn't get your question. What exactly? Can you please repeat? हाँ हाँ. अच्छा. Right, right, right. हाँ. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, right. हाँ हाँ. So that was data cleansing concept you're talking about. Yeah, when you this kind of challenge is very common when you deal with a large data, like you're pulling data from multiple sources. Uh, uh, so yeah, there are a lot of data cleansing techniques available. Of course, yeah, maybe for one particular column, you are seeing numbers, but it is in a string format. You need to change it to uh, yeah, number format. So one of the quick technique that I'll show you is called data text to column करके यहाँ पे रहता है. This basically you need to apply delimit tab finish. So that basically changes your formula from text to number and number to string, vice versa. But that is more on the data cleansing technique. I think we will get to see some of those when we get into the reporting. Okay. I do not have anything. Yeah. Yeah. हाँ हाँ मतलब there are a lot of, yeah, a lot of challenges you can face. But yeah, uh, but you get into the reporting role, and when you deal with the real business scenario, you definitely have this kind of challenges. But there are a lot of ways to deal with this. Like अगर space का बोल रहा है तो जैसे trim formula है to remove the spaces, and then text to column. There are a lot of formula, there are a lot of ways. एक scenario we will see. Uh, I will try to cover in our next sessions. Let's say आपको VLOOKUP करना है, and then you have a uh, dash in between. You want to get rid of that dash. You want to clean the data. So yeah, maybe in the next session when we start now, I think it's good and it's important to cover some of the data cleansing techniques. Good that you bought this. I'll keep that in mind and we'll start with that. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, I'll take 5 more minutes more today. We'll quickly see the OR condition. Now, if I use the same scenario using an OR condition equal to if, and instead of if and I'm writing OR. Okay, this is greater than 35. This is greater than 35. This is greater than else. Now, when I drag this, we'll see ये, even though Vijay has not scored more than 35, it is giving pass, because or the difference between or operator and AND operator is like AND में all the conditions that you specify within your AND clause has to be satisfied. और में क्या है कि कोई भी एक हो गया, then it will give the true as false. So now for in this particular scenario, at least एक greater than 35 है, hence it is giving pass. Understood the difference between um and or? Okay, I will take silence as yes. Uh, yeah. Yeah. So we will definitely this what we have covered today is very basic if condition. We will have a nested if conditions wherein we define if के अंदर if and we will do some complex. And it's very important that you guys learn if condition thoroughly. You know, to get into more advanced reporting topics that we are going to cover. So I'll stop here for today. The basic equipment. There is one more topic that I want to cover, that is cell freezing. Again, a very small topic. What I want to cover right now, cell freezing is, let's say if I reference this particular cell, okay, and now अगर मैं इसको नीचे ड्रैग करता हूँ, वो ऑटोमेटिकली ड्रैग करता है, ये C3 को C4 कर रहा है, C5 कर रहा है, C6 कर रहा है. ओके, नाउ लेट्स से इफ आई फ्रीज दिस, ओके, फ्रीज करना है मतलब F4 एक बार क्लिक करना है. इट इज फ्रीजिंग this C is my column and 3 is my row. Okay, it is freezing column as well as, एक बार आप F4 प्रेस करोगे तो it will freeze both column and row. Now if I drag it below, you will see सब जगह पे C3 है. Okay, so this is very important concept, even though it is looking very easy right now, but you will realize the importance of this when we basically when you write a formula and if you want to apply the same formula on other cells, definitely you will not follow the practice of writing the formula again and again, right? we need to drag it on the right formula, and hence that's when this freezing concept comes into the picture. And now let's say if I just freeze only row. So this part is row and this part is column. Okay. In current scenario, both row and column are freezed using a dollar sign. मैं फिर से अगर F4 प्रेस करता हूँ तो it will freeze only row. Okay. So then it will, if you see अगर मैं इसको नीचे लेके जा रहा हूँ तो इट इज स्टिल नॉट चेंजिंग बिकॉज मैंने रो फ्रीज कर दिया है, तो सब जगह इट विल बी सी। बट मैं अगर इसको राइट में मूव कर रहा हूँ इट इज़ चेंजिंग, क्योंकि ये मैंने कॉलम में फ्रीज किया है। तो इट इज सी का डी हो रहा है, डी का ई हो रहा है। बट सीनरी वेरिन मैं दोनों फ्रीज करता हूँ, तो अगर इसको आपको राइट में भी आप ड्रैग करो विल बी सेम। So it's very important to learn this freezing concept so that you can drag your formulas. When you write a formula, you need to drag it right में, left में. So पहली बार आप जब F4 प्रेस करोगे it will freeze row and column both. Second time F4 प्रेस करोगे, F4 प्रेस करोगे, okay. Yeah. Second time when you press F4, it will freeze only row. It will not freeze column. Hence, when you move your formula on the right side, it will still change the columns. Okay. The third time when you press the F4, it will freeze column and row will remain dynamic. Okay. Now, if you drag your formula downward, you will see the values are changing. But when you move your formula right, on the right, you will see it will remain same because वो C का D नहीं कर रहा है, E नहीं कर रहा है. Clear? Anyone has any question? This is super important. It may seem easy right now, but you will understand very soon. And I still get confused a lot of times when I work on this. It's important. Anyone has any questions? Yeah. So we'll see more. So I think we'll end here today. We utilized most of today's time to discuss about the course content, but I think it is important to understand the expectations and understand what we are going to cover and how it is going to help you to develop your skills. In next is going to be a more in-depth session on advanced Excel. Okay, so we just covered this if condition and operator and cell freezing. Okay, next topics we'll start with pivot tables. We'll also see pivot slicers. These two are really good starting point to create basic reports. Okay. Then we'll get into more advanced topics like nested ifs, lookup functions, then more complex formulas like sum ifs, count ifs, and all those things. Okay, once you learn and get expert in these things, it really opens door for learning more MI skills like this, creating dynamic dashboards, quality reporting. Without this is not feasible. Okay, so it's very important that you get familiar with and very good with these concepts. Yeah, yeah, sure. All right. Okay, okay. Let's say, see, this is your data. Okay, assume that there is a formula. Let me just write a formula. Let's say let me just give you an example using some formula. Now, in this particular cell, I have formula which is sum of all this. And if I freeze this, okay. So in this case, I have freezed दोनों भी cell का row and column I have freezed. So one time when you press F4, it frees both row and column. Okay. Now if I drag the formula downward or the right, the value is going to remain same. Okay, because if you see कहाँ पे भी देखो आपको it is summing only the first particular row, a column, first row, sorry. Okay, and even if I move this on the right, it is going to be same. Now in a scenario wherein I just freeze row, okay, so this particular part is the row and this particular part is the column. Okay. Now if I move downwards, it will still remain same because मैंने row freeze कर दिया है. So everywhere it is taking third row only. Okay, यहाँ पे भी third ले रहा है. But if I move it rightward, you will see the values are changing because मेरा कॉलम फ्रीज नहीं है. इसमें सी का ये दिस इज एफ है, यहाँ पे डी और जी हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे ई और एच हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे एफ और आई हो जाएगा, राइट. And these are important when you learn the formulas now. As I said, you don't have to write the formulas each and every cell. Now if let's see what happens if we freeze only column. Okay, if you freeze only column, now if you move downward it is changing, and if you move right side it will not change because मैंने column freeze कर दिया है क्योंकि में same columns. Okay, by default when you write a formula there will be like nothing, there will be no freezing at all. Okay, this case में again it is dynamic, it is, but there will be see this is not right now. I want yeah, but there will be a lot of scenarios wherein you have to freeze the cells because the formula is written in such a way that you need to drag it, and you also want to ensure that certain cells remains intact, doesn't move along. Okay, yeah, but we'll see more scenarios, but it's very important to understand this. It's a very basic uh, example I have given, but once we get more into the what to say, complex formulas, we'll extensively using this freezing concept. Okay, all right, I think, yeah, this file, yeah, definitely that's the plan. I'll be sharing this after each sessions. I will be sharing the training material with you all. Hope you all have shared your email ID on the Google form, but that's the reference point where I'll be picking up all the email IDs. So you should. I'll also be sharing the recording. So I need to basically load this recording and then share it with you all. So give me some time. I'll share all the course material that we covered today. And some of you requested for the visual resume. You can just ping me one on one and just share your email ID and I will share. Okay. It, yeah, my plan is generally we keep all the sessions on Saturday. Uh, that's fine. If then we can have the session on 23rd. Okay. But I'll share the details in our WhatsApp group. Okay. All right. So hoping to see you all. As I said, try to attend all the sessions. Do not be dependent on the recording. Recordings definitely I'm going to share because I do not have any like you join or you do not join. Like it is for everyone. I'm going to share recordings for everyone. It is helpful, but it's going to be super helpful if you join the session and we have an interactive sessions. All right. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.